Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max costing nearly 1100 pounds and then the Galaxy Fold costing a whopping 1700 pounds. This is 2024 where smartphones cost is really at its peak, and amidst all this high price mayhem, could you spend under 200 pounds for a smartphone and live with it without making too many compromises? I exactly tried that. My daily driver is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so I kept that aside for a week and used the CMF Phone one. I paid only 180 pounds for this phone, guys. I've reviewed it as well. I'll link it down below if you wish to check it out. But in this video, I am going to use this as my daily driver. And here are the things which I loved about it and the things which I really missed and wanted to switch back to my iPhone. First, let's talk about the look and feel. Granted that this phone is no titanium and it's made of plastic, but it doesn't feel cheap. The exposed screw designs here with a giant thumb screw gives this phone a unique, quirky character. It did turn heads and everyone at work wanted to know what that thing in my hand is. That totally exposed screws, there is a decent reason for that because that design will allow you to unscrew the back plate and change it, or even add things like lanyards or flip stands, where all of these accessories are sold separately on CMF's website and they cost between 20 to 40 pounds. Would I personally add those extras? I mean, I like the idea of changing the back plate, giving me new colors, or when this one is worn out, I can use another one. And maybe I add a stand, but that again make it bulky. So this is something which I wouldn't do it very often. Next, I loved how smooth this phone felt. Really well optimized operating system and that super high 120Hz refresh rate for the screen. All of this makes using this phone thoroughly enjoyable. It certainly makes you feel that this phone is much more expensive than the cost it demanded. And that is incredible. I mean, opening menus, navigating around, using customization options and opening apps. Now, if I didn't tell you that this phone only costed 180 pounds, you could have easily assumed that the price of this phone to be much, much higher. The screen is AMOLED and it is awesome as well. First, this is a max size screen, which is at 6.67 inches. And knowing how mobile content consumption is ruling the world at the moment, bigger screen, you get much better content watching experience. And here, the screen is almost as big as what you get on your iPhone 15 Pro Max. The peak brightness of the phone is also 2000 nits and it gets pretty manageable even when it's bright and sunny outside. The battery life is also pretty good. It has a 5000 milliamp hour battery and I could easily get a whole day out of it even with the usage towards heavy side. Storage is also a respectable 128 gigabytes, especially if you're coming from the Apple Club, and the next 256 gigabytes upgrade doesn't cost that much, which is really nice. So all of this sound amazing value, making you even wonder why you're paying over 5 times for top-end flagships, right? Well, the next few sections which I'm going to talk about may change your perception about this. Now, since we are talking about battery, there is no wireless charging here. Again, an inconvenience for sure, but not a huge deal breaker. However, the absence of NFC is a huge deal breaker for me and for everyone who are used to that super convenient contactless payment method. Most of us in the UK and US use this service a lot. I almost wish they made a replaceable backplate which has got that NFC chip, but NFC is deeply integrated into the core phone system, so unfortunately, it will never be an add-on. Now, I've gone this far and not even spoken about the most important thing on smartphones nowadays, which is cameras. And yes, I'm coming to that. The phone only has one 50 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture. The other one, which looks like a camera, is just a portrait sensor. Now, pictures you get from it are pretty good, especially for sharing them on social media and with your friends in good lighting conditions. Low light performance is just okay. Don't expect amazing results with it. There is also no optical zoom or OIS built in, which means your videos will struggle. The software does its bit to smoothen out any jerks or shakes, but video recording is pretty average, and this is one of the main instances where I felt I needed my iPhone. Same goes with the front selfie camera. It's a 16 megapixel shooter and it is again very average. Moving on from cameras, the other huge thing which makes you want to reach out for your flagship is that single mono speaker. Sound just comes from one side and the speaker is pretty bad. So you will have to rely on your Bluetooth headphones to get that decent audio experience. Another thing this phone sacrifices is on the dust and water protection. Considering that this phone is modular, the max rating, which nothing could achieve for it, is IP52, which means it's protected from limited dust and mild water spray. Again, something which I feel is quite important on a smartphone nowadays. Then the performance. That MediaTek Dimensity 7300 5G processor under the hood is okay at handling day-to-day tasks. Apps do open quickly. I did not find much lag when I'm doing the usual stuff like checking emails, using social media, web browsing. However, when you try to push it, that's when it struggles. Here's Asphalt 9 and you can clearly see the pixelation and there is lag. The processor clearly is struggling here. Even with PUBG, it is manageable, especially compared to Asphalt 9, but it's far from that smooth experience which flagship phones offer. Casual gaming, however, is totally fine and it is more than acceptable. You do get a decent experience out of it. So the big question is, can you make do with this sub $200 phone in 2024? Well, the answer is a careful yes. Yes, if you're willing to make compromises. On one hand, you get a very decent screen, decent build, clean operating system, and a good main camera for pictures. But you lose out on performance, NFC, good video recording capability, decent water and dust protection, and stereo speakers. If all of that does not bother you that much, then yes, you can happily save your money and get this phone. For me, I am going back to my iPhone 15 Pro Max, but as a parting statement, I would like to say that this phone pleasantly surprised me for all the good it packed, especially considering that super low price. So that's how my experience has been, guys, using this phone as my daily driver. What are your thoughts about this? Do you have any questions, comments? Do drop them down below. And if you're enjoying my content, a like would be immensely helpful, guys. And please do consider subscribing. Support me so I can keep making these videos for you. And as always, thanks a lot for staying with me until the end. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.